time psycho women fight on paternity court.
My child.
Who her father is.
Well, okay,
That's just the
but
point.
you still need to stay in your place.
You told me that he'll never be a part of you, even if this test comes back that it's your grandson, right?
I've been telling him, get a blood test. Stop signing on the dotted line. Stop claiming kids and
But
let
what
you
is
know
she
they're
worried
yours.
about to you? You got 2 kids that's not his, and he do for
They
them.
mine though. They mine though.
The same number.
It was not the same
It was
number.
the same
It wasn't
number.
even the same person.
She say it's not.
It was.
You could only feel sorry for her as she stood up on stage. It was a situation of a child growing up only to find out that she had been lied to all her life. Miss Franzoni was tired of her mother's lies, and she couldn't wait to find out the truth. Trust me, you're in for a surprise.
But today, you've brought her to court to learn the results of a paternity test. Now, Mrs. Bailey, you argue that your daughter is completely wrong. You say you are here to open her eyes to a scheme that is confusing her and making her believe a lie.
Talk about living in so much doubt and denial all your life. Miss Franzoni spent her early days as a child with 2 moms and no dad. Yep, it was a pretty rough childhood for her. Her mom told her who her dad was, but with the doubt clouding her mind. She kept asking one question: is that really my dad?
You say you felt nothing. What do you mean?
Nothing. Like, I just sit down and feel like he was my father, and I felt as if we had met in a different circumstance, he might have been trying to hit on me or take me out or something.
Miss Franzoni was given the name of a man who she thought was her father, but apparently happened not to be her father. She claimed that every time she was around the man, there was no bond of any kind, and she always felt weird around him. With that type of feeling, that's definitely not her dad.
So you feel it's completely different than when you met the gentleman your mother introduced you to?
Right. And that's pretty much how I've always felt ever since I met him.
And your godmother, who's here with you today, she believes he is your father.
Things started to get really interesting when Miss Franzoni's godmother walked up to the stage, and oh boy, did she have some juice to spill. She said some things that would leave you wanting to ask your mom if your dad is really your dad.
She was pregnated by, and she said Mark Beaumont or the other
I did not say
candidate.
that. She's making that up. I did not tell her that.
So you remember distinctly her saying
yes,
so?
I remember.
As you would imagine, Miss Franzoni's mom wasn't having any of that. Listening to the godmother speak woke up a demon in her, and trust me, she was ready to tear the entire court into different pieces.
That's my child.
Who her father is.
Well, okay,
That's just the
but
point.
you still need to stay in your place.
They did a DNA.
The courtroom got heated up in ways you wouldn't expect, with mom and godmother taking a piece out of each other. It was like their mission in court was to fight for little Miss Franzoni. All she wanted was to know her dad. Is that too much to ask for?
Our business is making sure Miss Franzoni understands or gets the opportunity to figure out who her father is. And if she wants to test man number 1, 2, 3, 79, and 80, and they all agree to a test, why you gotta fight?
As the yelling continued to intensify, Miss Franzoni was not believing a single word that dropped from her mother's mouth. It started to feel like she wasn't the one who gave birth to her because there was zero trust written in her eyes. The alleged father walked into the court, and all hell broke loose when he started to speak.
So I asked her, I said, did the baby look like me? Or, you know, that's what she was saying that I said. But I don't remember those things. But by the same token, when she called me up to tell me about it, I said, well, let's forget about all of that. Just tell me what the situation is.
Okay.
Now the moment of truth finally emerged, with everyone holding their breaths and wanting to know who the real daddy was. Are you holding your breath? Because I am. Let's find out who the dad is, shall we?
Mr. Beaumont, you are not her father. I'm sorry to you both.
The squabble that went on within this family should have been aired as a series on Netflix because it was just so chaotic. Miss Chandler and Mr. Hilliard were suing Mr. Hilliard's sister and mother for defamation of character. Does that even make sense to you? Because it sure doesn't to me. Let's uncover the mystery.
You are seeking the results of a paternity test to prove that your baby is indeed Mr. Hilliard's son. You are asking the court for damages in the amount of $500. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
There was no time to waste right here. It was a war front, with everyone getting ready to empty their clips. Miss Jackson, who happened to be Mr. Hilliard's sister, started by dropping some heavy bombshells in the courtroom. Looks like Miss Chandler is no saint at all.
She talks to guys on Facebook, texting guys, and she has a lock on her cell phone to where my brother can't see her phone. She's cheated on my brother. He stayed at my house with his kids.
Now,
and
what proof do you have of that?
she's admitted it to me.
No, I have not.
Miss Chandler cut her short and dove in like a blazing volcano. She wasn't in the mood to let her boyfriend's sister mess her name up in court, and so she began. She was firm on Miss Jackson having no business in their relationship, and from that point on, things started to escalate really badly.
What I do with my life is my business.
3 babies, 3 baby daddies. I got 3 babies with the same man.
Okay, we'll see if that's true, won't we?
We will.
Yep.
Miss Jackson then started to throw shades at Miss Chandler again, stating how she kept having different affairs with different men while her brother was away. The question everyone kept asking was, how does she know so much? I mean, who is dating Mr. Hilliard at this point? The sister or the girlfriend? I'm so confused.
That's why you and your mama decided that I was a bad person because
And I don't even know why you're over there talking in the first place.
I took Brandon away, and I'm independent, and I took care of
All
him
you
for
do is
4
give in
years.
to her.
For 4 years.
It's what you've done for 4 years.
4
you
years,
give in to her.
I took care of him. And he
Yeah,
did
you
not
do.
need
What
me.
have you done to us?
Oh, trust me, it was not just a war zone in the courtroom. It felt like the roofs of the building could no longer contain the heat of the drama that was going on. In my mind, I'm like, are these guys really a family? Do they ever stop fighting? It was insane, trust me.
You said those aren't my grandkids.
I haven't told you that.
Okay, that's
told
why
me
you
that.
called him a punk. You told me that he'd never be a part of you, even if this test comes back that it's your grandson, right?
I never said that.
You and Gina. You and
no.
Gina. Yeah.
No, I told you
Yeah,
that I would
whenever
still be
when me
his
and
aunt,
Brandon-
whether it was his
No.
or not.
The rants just keep coming and coming and coming. These guys are yelling in the courtroom like they're in a football stadium. Miss Chandler then tells the judge the secret as to why the sister and mother don't want her in the family. All this is just because they're jealous? Well, I guess as much, but still, damn!
The problem is I took him away from them. I was a woman and I took care of my man.
That's so not my problem.
That's the
You can
problem.
have Brandon.
I took care of
Honestly,
him
you
and
can.
he did not need them no more.
Now, the things your ears are about to hear will leave your whole body in shock. These guys didn't care where they were. They were ready to drag each other until no one was left standing. I mean, if they could do this in a courtroom, how toxic is their home?
They look alike.
No.
I'm sorry, but whenever the DNA test comes back, I'll show you. I'll laugh
Okay.
at you. Because you
All right.
all are fools for not claiming that little boy right there.
I have claimed him.
Really?
Yes,
Then
I
why
have.
are you here today? Then why are you here if you
To
claim
find
him?
out if you're a liar.
Well, their chaotic journey finally came to a close, and everyone in the courtroom couldn't wait for them to take their leave. Let's see whether the daddy gets to hear those 4 words or not.
Your wait is over. You are the father.
Thank you. Now apologize.
Miss Simmons was in no way ready to share her husband with anyone, be it another woman or a daughter she'd never seen before. It was a bloodbath of words between Miss Simmons and Miss Walker. I know you're itching to find out who won this war. Well, let's get on with it, shall we?
Well, okay, Miss Simmons, you contend that there's absolutely no way your husband is Miss Walker's biological father.
No way.
You argue Miss Walker needs to let go of this fantasy and move on to another candidate.
Yes.
Miss Simmons was not ready to welcome anyone into her family, and she was ready to use all the power in the world to fight Miss Walker. With that much certainty, there was a high chance that Miss Walker was barking at the wrong tree.
We never made any. I believe my husband is sterile. I believe he can't make no kids. If we've been together that long and we ain't make none together, what makes somebody just pop up and say, oh, you the father?
And so the 2 children you have
Are not his.
are not his.
No.
Now, Miss Simmons, having the attitude of an angry dog, was quite certain that her husband couldn't have been the father to Miss Walker. How did she know this? She outrightly said her husband was not capable of having kids. Now, that's a crazy level of certainty, if you ask me. But Miss Walker's story lined up in such a perfect way.
She reached out to me. She was like, well, we knew about you since you were a baby. Your mom had you around, and then all of a
That's not how it
sudden,
happened, Your
she went off. And this
Not at
is
all.
Bruce Simmons' sister. Yes.
And that's just not how it happened.
Talking to you. Yes. All right.
The words that came out of Miss Simmons' mouth will leave you wondering if she's a psychopath. So unfiltered and filled with disgust, like Miss Walker was not a human being like everyone else. She sure didn't want to share her family with anyone.
Okay, hold on. So your anger stems from you just felt like in this equation, they left you out.
Exactly. And I was upset for the way the sister went about it. Like I said,
So you felt like his sister overstepped her bounds.
Yes.
The charade of hate didn't just end there. In fact, there were a whole lot more that popped out of nowhere. Miss Walker claimed that she wasn't the one who reached out to start with. Are you surprised? Trust me, I am too. It was Mr. Simmons who reached out.
Miss Walker, did Mr. Simmons tell you he believed that he's your father?
Yes, ma'am, he did.
He did. Jerome, I think it's time we meet Mr. Simmons.
Yeah, please bring him in.
Mr. Simmons was finally asked to walk into the courtroom, and the most shocking thing happened. Mr. Simmons gave Miss Walker a beautiful hug. It was so beautiful to watch. But Miss Simmons was fuming like a hot pot of lava. But Mr. Simmons had quite a lot to say as well.
Okay, so when you say you spent the weekend together, let's be clear, you were intimate with her.
Intimate with for 2 days, yes.
No protection used.
No protection, no nothing.
Even after the shocking revelation made by Mr. Simmons, no one could understand why Miss Simmons was giving Miss Walker a really hard time. She increased her rage and just wasn't going to back down for Miss Walker to be part of the family.
I've been telling him, get a blood test. Stop signing on the dotted line. Stop claiming kids
But
unless
what
you
is
know
she
they're
worried
yours.
about to you? You got 2 kids that's not his, and he do for
They
them.
mine though. They mine
do
though.
for them,
They
so what's
mine,
the
and he
difference
raised
between
them.
the child?
They
I don't
mine.
want
He
nothing
raised
from
them
him.
from
I
birth.
just
They
wanna know
mine
who
though.
he is.
I know who my kids are.
Sit tight! Hold your breath, parenting folks. The answer to all their questions and doubts was sitting pretty with the judge, and the truth was finally ready to be revealed. All that hate from Miss Simmons is about to be thrown into the wind. I hope you're ready.
Case of Walker v. Simmons. When it comes to 30-year-old Parthenia Walker, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Bruce Simmons, you are not her father.
These high school sweethearts were for sure not having it with each other anymore, bouncing from cheating to pathological liars, and now there's a baby involved. You can bet there's a lot of drama circled around these guys. I'm sure you're already buckled in, so let's get the show on the road.
Ms. Shands, you appear in court today because you are devastated that your first love and the person you lost your virginity to is now denying your 15-month-old son, Aiden.
As you would imagine, Judge Lauren wasn't going to go easy on these guys. I mean, they basically looked like kids. You could feel in the tone of her voice that she couldn't wait to give these 2 high school sweethearts some spankings.
This is a classic case of babies having babies.
Now, their love story between Mr. Hollis and Mrs. Shands started when they were in middle school. Things seemed pretty sweet back then, but hold up. Things took a twisted turn when he found out she was messing around with some of his friends. Oops.
And then that was that, and she started messing with my homeboy, and she started messing with multiple people.
Your Honor, me and his was close friends once before.
They was, but they used
She used to come back and tell me that Mr. Amir, he was messing with one of my friends.
Mr. Hollis was no saint either. He was also messing about with some of her friends. Sneaky little teenagers, wouldn't you say? Miss Shan said they weren't so smart at the time and didn't really know what they were doing because they were young. Well, Judge Lauren slammed her straight up, and trust me, she wasn't nice.
We both were young at the time. We both were young. So
Both y'all young now?
Yeah, we still are young. We still are young. But I thought it was cool to go mess with one of his friends because he have slept with one of mine.
In no time, the courtroom turned into a kids' assembly with both Mr. Hollis and Mrs. Shands chattering, "No, I didn't sleep with your best friend. No, he was my best friend. No, he wasn't your best friend." Judge Lauren was boiling like she was made of lava.
No.
This is exactly why you all need to be just out playing a sport, learning a craft.
Yes.
This just sounds about silly.
Now Ms. Shands finds out she's pregnant. Ain't no surprise there. She picks up her phone and beeps Mr. Hollis's friend. Ring, ring, ring. I'm pregnant. Surprising thing? He's pretty excited about the baby. But here's the plot twist. She also tells Mr. Hollis she's pregnant too. Now the smoke turns into fire.
And I was telling them that it's a possibility that it can be him or the friend. I never told the friend that it can be a possibility with another guy. I only told his mother that it can be a possibility with another guy. I
And
never
why'd
told
you
the
make
other
that
guy.
choice?
Because
don't
she
know.
knew what she was doing. She knew what she was doing.
Fast forward to when the baby is born. Mr. Hollis is nowhere to be found. Not at the hospital, not anywhere. Guess who shows up? The best friend. Now I was expecting that to happen. Hold your seat tight because another plot twist is about to storm up. Mr. Hollis says he didn't even know she was pregnant or she went into labor. When he found out, she wouldn't let him be around her. I smell something fishy.
I didn't even know she was in labor. I had to find that out. Like, I was walking out of Fort Pierce, somebody came to me and said, Desire had her baby, da 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 da. I didn't even know she was in labor. I didn't even know she was in the hospital. I didn't know.
Judge Lauren couldn't hide her irritation from these kids no more. It was turning into a reality show for kids, and the judge was not gonna have any of that in her courtroom. Things just kept going from bad to worse.
Can't tell you write songs about it.
What you mean?
He made a song, Your Honor, and it specifically says, about a year ago, I fell in love with a thought. That's what it says.
It just keeps getting worse.
Worse.
After all the back and forth of kids giving birth to kids, the moment of truth is finally here. It's time we draw the curtains on these kids' funny behaviors and find out the truth. Take a seat back and focus your eyes on the judge.
When it comes to 15-month-old Aiden Shands, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Hollis, you are not the father.
Their love was hanging by a thread. The agitated plaintiff was fed up with the defendant's acts, and trust me, he was in no way ready to shape up. He had reasons to strongly suspect the paternity of the child. Will the DNA results bring out the truth? Grab some popcorn and sit back as we go on another love war.
Open your case today in hopes of saving your relationship with the defendant. You say the only reason he is denying your 4-month-old son, Jade, is because he's an insecure man. Hunley, you say the plaintiff is sneaky, a cheat, and cannot be trusted, and you have serious doubt you are her son's biological father. Is that
Yes, Your
correct?
Honor.
It was a love or burst situation between Miss Sand and Mr. Hundley, with both parties fighting almost every damn day. Miss Sand wasn't having it at all. Her face showed she was running out of patience, and if he didn't fix up, she was gonna bolt.
I'm tired of being accused of cheating. I'm tired of him saying that it's not my son. I'm tired of just everything.
That crack in their love sequel started to unveil 1 month after they got together. Hold up, just 1 month? That was pretty fast. Baby mama was a busybody on the phone talking to different men, and that sure didn't sit well with Mr. Hundley. And so the drama begins.
Started with a text message, Your Honor. I lied to him about a message that he had seen on my phone. He took a picture of the message in my phone, and he had came downstairs and asked me about it, and I lied to him. I said, no, I was not talking to so-and-so. And then I had sent him a message, and what made him mad was I said something in the message about solo dolo.
Ouch! She drops a shell-breaking message in one of her conversations with her random men. Now hold your breath. I can tell you, you aren't ready for what you're about to hear. And the bomb drops, boom! She tells the guy she's single and isn't in any relationships. I bet you're itching to see Mr. Hundley's reaction. Trust me, it's priceless.
Had new phones after this. She get a message from the same number.
It was not the same
It was
number.
the same
It wasn't
number.
even the same person.
She say it's not.
It wasn't even the same person.
It was the same number. I had
No,
the
it was
screenshots
not.
and pulled up the screenshot, same thing. 'Cause I'm looking at the screenshot and then her phone at the same number.
No, it wasn't even
So
the same
so
person.
you're saying, Mr. Hundley, you all got new phones,
New phone.
but the same old guy is still calling the new phone.
number.
Now Mr. Hundley was already fed up. I mean, which normal guy won't be? They go on to change their phones because it's already a situation of I don't trust you anymore. The same guy she used to text and cheat with hits her up again. Now that's fishy, because how does he have the new number? Something ain't right here.
It was somebody that I used to hang out with before Jade and I.
A man?
Yes, ma'am.
How did he get the new phone?
It wasn't a new phone. It was a new phone, but it
new
was not a
phone.
new number. No, it was not,
We
Jade.
got new phones. We both switched because of the.
No,
that
we did
situation.
not.
We definitely did.
No, we
son.
did not.
You say the number was the same, but it was just a new phone.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
The pressure is building, and all Mr. Hundley can feel at this moment is pain. The juice of the drama starts to unfold, and he finds out that his woman sneaks out at night to get intimate with the guy she's been texting. Wait, what? Now it's no longer a kinky text here and there. She's sneaking out to meet up with the guy she's texting. Speechlessness is the feeling right now.
You saw this mark and you say when you all have been intimate in the past, you've left a similar mark on her.
Yes, ma'am. And I asked her about it. I said, like, where did this bruise come from? And her excuse was she probably bumped a chair. Like, sure, I probably bumped into something. You ain't gonna bump into nothing on your inner thigh and get a bruise on your leg.
The air in the courtroom grew shorter, and the news of the baby came to trump all that. The news wasn't well received by Mr. Handley, and you wouldn't blame him, honestly. There was no atom of trust, and he was not going to be a dad to a kid he wasn't sure of. Brace yourself because you're about to be shocked again.
I know you don't want to take the pill, and if you don't want to take it, you don't have to. And I said, are you sure? Because at this point, he knew I had been talking about a baby. He knew I wanted a baby. And I asked him, like, are you sure?
But you also knew I wasn't ready in our current situation. Because all the things that happened prior, so I honestly didn't believe I was the only one she was with, so I definitely couldn't have been the only father in that situation.
So as soon as she told you, even though you all were in a relationship, your immediate thought was, I'm not the only one she's with, so I have doubt.
Yes, ma'am. Right off rip. But then she also told me that she ain't the father, or that I'm not the father.
He was there for the pregnancy. He was there for child support. He was there for the emotional balance, and Miss Hundley slams him with the "you are not the dad" phrase. Now that's a lot of contradiction. What exactly is going on?
Not the dad. She talking about, she said something about leaving. Cause I said I was about to leave. She told me, all right, that's cool, leave. She's like, you with your dad anyway, I'm about to leave too. Like she told me before I signed the birth certificate with a smirk on her face, talking about, she's like, yeah, you sure you wanna sign that without getting the DNA test?
I did not. I said.
Yeah, she did. Like, yeah.
That's not what you wanna hear in the delivery room.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
He had kept making comments throughout my whole pregnancy. And I told him, I did. I said, before you sign his birth certificate, you should probably get your DNA tests before.
Well, let's draw the curtains on the whole charade. The moment of truth is finally here, and the DNA results are about to reveal who the real dad is. Are you ready? Because I am. Let's find out the truth, shall we?
Has been determined by this court. Mr. Hundley, you are the father.